7 secret seaside towns in England nobody talks about. Everyone's heard of Brighton, Bournemouth and Blackpool, but the English coast still hides places where time slows, gulls cry, and the tide tells its own stories. These are the 7 secret seaside towns in England nobody talks about. Quiet, beautiful, and wonderfully real. From Devon's limestone coves to Northumberland's golden dunes, these hidden seaside towns in England show that the soul of the coast isn't found in neon lights, but in laughter echoing down narrow lanes and the smell of salt and vinegar drifting from a tiny chip shop by the shore. 7. Beer, Devon. On the Jurassic Coast lies Beer, a small fishing village that looks like a painting come to life. White cliffs rise above a shingle beach lined with colourful boats, and narrow streets lead to cottages draped in ivy. Once famous for the Beer Quarries that supplied stone to Exeter Cathedral, the village now thrives on its charm rather than its industry. Visitors stroll along the cliff-top paths towards Seaton Hole or Branscombe, rewarded with views across Lyme Bay. Beer still feels authentically local. Fishermen sell the day's catch beside the beach, families gather for picnics, and artists capture the changing light on canvas. There's no need for grand hotels or bustling nightlife. Beer's magic lies in its simplicity. It's small, welcoming, and almost defiantly traditional. A perfect starting point for our 7 secret seaside towns in England nobody talks about. 6. Walberswick, Suffolk. Across the River Blyth from Southwold, Walberswick whispers rather than shouts. Wooden bridges cross the marshes, pastel cottages hide behind dunes, and the North Sea hums softly in the distance. Once the home of Britain's national crabbing championships, the village has swapped competition for calm. The beach here stretches endlessly, wind-brushed and beautifully untamed. Visitors wander with dogs or cameras, collecting shells and silence. There are only a few pubs and tea rooms, most serving fresh Suffolk fish and homemade scones. In the evening, as mist rolls over the marsh, Walberswick feels almost otherworldly, like a secret you've stumbled upon. 5. Stairs, North Yorkshire. Tucked beneath towering cliffs on the Yorkshire coast, Stairs is a jumble of cottages and cobbled alleys leading to a tiny harbour. Once a bustling fishing port, it's now one of the underrated English coastal towns where history lingers in every stone. The village was home to a young Captain James Cook, and his statue still overlooks the sea he first learned to love. Artists flock here for the light, which shifts from silver to gold as clouds pass over the cliffs. When the tide's out, children explore the rock pools and search for fossils, reminders of the Jurassic past beneath their feet. Stairs hasn't changed much in a century, and that's precisely the point. It's raw, real, and utterly unforgettable. 4. Kingsand and Corsand, Cornwall. Hidden on the Rame Peninsula, often called Cornwall's Forgotten Corner, are the twin villages of Kingsand and Corsand. Together, they form a pastel-painted dreamscape of crooked cottages, flower-filled windows, and tiny sandy coves where waves lap gently at the walls. These two hamlets were once divided by a county line, one in Devon, the other in Cornwall. A pub still bears a sign marking the old boundary. Today, locals laugh about it over cider as they watch the sun dip behind Plymouth Sound. Unlike tourist-heavy Cornwall, this is a place of quiet discovery. There are no amusement arcades or chain restaurants, just sea air, fishing boats, and the slow rhythm of tides. The south-west coast path passes right through, offering some of the most dramatic views in southern England. Every corner feels intimate here. You can hear seagulls, smell salt, and sense the pride of a community that still celebrates May Day festivals and summer regattas. Kingsand and Corsand deserve their place among the 7 secret seaside towns in England nobody talks about, precisely because locals want to keep them that way, secret, peaceful, and pure. 3. Robin Hood's Bay, North Yorkshire. Halfway between Whitby and Scarborough lies Robin Hood's Bay, a a cliffside maze of narrow streets and crooked houses cascading toward the sea. The name suggests legend, but the truth is even more intriguing. This was once England's smuggling capital. Beneath its quaint cottages lies a network of tunnels where contraband brandy and silk once passed hand to hand under moonlight. Today the smugglers are gone, but the charm remains. Families wander down cobbles slick with sea spray, stopping for crab sandwiches and fudge. At low tide, wide rock pools reveal starfish and shells. At high tide, the water laps the foot of the village. No cars can enter the lower streets, adding to its timeless feel. Locals hang fishing nets as decoration, and old inns glow with firelight on chilly evenings. Stand at the harbour wall at sunset, and you'll understand why this is one of the most romantic hidden seaside towns in England. 2. Alnmouth, Northumberland. At the mouth of the river, Aln lies Alnmouth, small, serene and stunning. Golden dunes stretch for miles, meeting pastel-coloured Georgian houses that gaze over the sea. Despite its beauty, Alnmouth remains one of the least-known jewels of the Northumberland coast, AONB. The village hums with gentle life, a bakery scenting the air with warm bread, an art gallery tucked inside an old chapel, and walkers heading toward Warkworth Castle along the coastal path. The estuary gleams at low tide, alive with curlews and sandpipers. There's a calm here that's rare in modern Britain. Even in summer, the beach feels endless and empty, the wind tracing patterns across the sand. Locals gather at the Red Lion for fish pie and conversation that drifts into laughter. Alnmouth might not boast fairground rides or flashy hotels, but that's precisely its strength. It invites reflection, slow mornings, and seaside strolls without interruption. Among the secret seaside escapes in England, it's a masterpiece of quiet beauty. 1. Clovelly, Devon, England's most secret seaside treasure. There is nowhere in England quite like Clovelly. Perched on Devon's northern cliffs above the Bristol Channel, this privately owned village feels untouched by time. Cars are banned. Instead, steep cobbled streets tumble downhill toward a tiny 14th century harbour, where fishing boats rest beside weather-beaten walls. Whitewashed cottages lean close together as if huddling against the wind, each adorned with flower boxes that explode with colour in summer. The only way to reach the harbour is on foot, or by donkey, the same way goods once travelled centuries ago. The climb back up leaves most visitors breathless but blissfully enchanted. Every inch of Clovelly is steeped in history. Once a bustling fishing port, it thrived on herring and trade with Wales across the channel. Today, its handful of shops sells handmade crafts, local fudge, and postcards that barely capture the village's charm. Early in the morning, when the cobbles are slick with dew and the sea mist curls through the alleys, it feels like stepping into another world. Because the village is privately maintained, modern clutter is absent. There are no streetlights, no neon signs, just lanterns glowing softly against white walls. In winter, storms lash the harbour, and locals retreat to cosy inns with roaring fires. In summer, wildflowers spill from every crevice, and the air buzzes with bees and quiet contentment. Clovelly's isolation is its greatest gift. It's not just one of the underrated English coastal towns, it's the crown jewel of them all. Visitors leave whispering the same promise: to keep the secret safe. That's why Clovelly stands proudly as number 1 on our list of 7 secret seaside towns in England nobody talks about. From Clovelly's cobbled cliffs to Alnmouth's golden silence, these 7 secret seaside towns in England nobody talks about prove that the English coast still hides wonders. They're not loud, they're not flashy, but that's exactly their power. Here, beauty whispers, the tide listens, and peace is still possible. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.